Hey, Sean, welcome to the Z Marketing Podcast. Thank you for stopping by.
Hey man, no problem. I'm excited about this. You and I have been talking back and forth for a while, and I said I got to get you on my show, and then I was like, hey, maybe we could do a trade. So now I'm here. I'm super excited about this because I love being on podcasts. It's fun to be on the other side of the microphone for a change.
Yeah, for sure. And I know you have a great podcast, which we'll get into and link in the show notes. But for the few people who might not know who you are, give us your elevator pitch, your 30-second commercial. Who
All
are you?
right. So who am I? That's a fun question. My name is Sean Littman. I am the founder and CEO of GiveSuite. GiveSuite is a software solution for small and medium organizations, changing the way that you guys maximize market and raise. And I'm also the founder of Catch 22 Nonprofit Digital, a full service digital agency dealing with all things nonprofits, specifically Google for nonprofits. We did it before it was cool, elevating your community and accelerating your monthly giving. We also did that before it was cool too, but we'll talk about that later. So that's my deal. And I love working with nonprofits because I just love helping people. That's just my flavor of life. I just love helping people and I enjoy it. And being able to work in a space that people constantly need help in because of whether it's lack of bandwidth in the organization, lack of knowledge, depth, and other things like that. I love to come in and help out on that. So that's my deal.
Amazing. And I know you do a lot of great work in the nonprofit marketing and advertising space, particularly in Google advertising, search advertising. What made you choose nonprofits as your target vertical or as your main audience? And are there any particular types of nonprofits or causes that you usually go for?
So I'll tell you why we were doing just like we were doing everything because everybody in the marketing space tends to do everything everywhere all at
Because
once.
we're chameleons, marketers,
Yes.
essentially.
Well, yeah, I mean it's the same principle, different variable, different outcome in marketing. There's no like, secret sauce, despite what all those goofy gurus tell you. There's no secret sauce. It's the same thing, different variable. So we were doing all sorts of stuff, and then I stumbled upon Google Grants. And I was like, this is cool. And I realized that nobody was dealing with Google Grants, Google for nonprofits, because it wasn't sexy. It wasn't something that like people in the and also every organization's entitled to it, but most of them don't know how to use it. And at the time back then, Google had a policy, which they've updated their policies from now. If you don't use it, you lose it.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, a lot of people on the internet are putting out old, outdated information on Google for nonprofits. And my contemporary Jason King and I like to call people out on it. It's fun.
Mhm.
But we got into this, our agency got into this because we saw a hole in a market that no one was dealing with. And we figured, let's do it and let's do it better. And the particular type of organizations we like to work with, I'm based in Israel, so if anybody listening to your podcast cares about that, I don't care about you. So a lot of my clientele tend to be legacy organizations in Israel that have been around longer than I've been alive, are great at what they do in Hebrew. Everybody knows what they do in Hebrew, but suck at what they do in English. And there's a huge market, there's a huge need for that because a lot of the donations, there's different types of donations that come from people within Israel because the giving mindset is different here in Israel than it is abroad. And there's different types of money that comes from abroad. But if you're unbalanced, if your one side is good but your other side is crap, then you're not going to get in the donations that you want on the other end. So we come in and we work with them to enhance that. And like I said, I call it elevate and accelerate. Elevate your community, accelerate your monthly giving. So we like to come in and create better, stronger English marketing copy. You leverage Google for nonprofits because everyone's looking for something on the internet. We just have to figure out what it is, and then grow your list and turn those people into monthly givers. At the same time, re-engage your existing lists to turn those people into monthly givers too, because you probably haven't talked to them in a while. So this is kind of what we do. And like I said, working in a space that not a lot of people understand. People try to understand it, but people don't understand search ads, and people don't even understand the grant ads because the grant ads are different from search ads. Because with search ads, Google doesn't care how much money you piss away at them because it's
Mhm.
coming off your credit card. But when you're using their credit card, they're going to say, you have
Mhm.
restrictions. We have to work with you. So people don't understand that. But the key to winning at Google, the key to winning at search ads is being the answer to the problem people are looking for on the internet. So our entire method to our madness was built around kind of like hybrid SEO paid search, where it's creating campaigns based on key search terms that people are looking for, driving them to a landing page that's more article based than like in your face landing page with an opt-in that's relevant to the offer and just getting them on the email. I don't care if they read the article, I just want your email. And then we put them on an email sequence, taking them through a journey, explaining and showing what the organization is all about in 10 different steps, ultimately asking for money.
So ultimately, like you get them, you don't just use ads, and I think that's you've made a lot of points that actually I want to address that I think are great.
Yeah.
But starting with the last one, forgive me, was the aspect of you don't just look at ads. I think this is a really crucial point, actually. You don't just look at your Google ads as the way to drive the final conversion, like the sale, the donation.
No.
Donation, especially, even more than sale, might be even a tougher ask at times. We'll get into that, but you're using it as promoted content, as a way to get opt-ins to the funnel,
Yeah.
like top of the
Well,
funnel, not just like, hey, you saw our ad, give us money. You're using the
no.
ad. Uh, can you go into it? I think a lot of
Yeah.
people don't realize how important that is because people need context, like what free value or what
Well,
incentive do you give for people when they click the ad to kind of opt into your
I'll so I'll explain. First of all, no one ever on the history of the internet is going on the internet to look for how can I donate to your organization. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. So get that out of your head because it's just not going to happen. The way it works versus a sale where you're doing, let's say you're doing Google Shopping for a product, people are searching for shoes, people are searching for whatever, so you come up. So the end goal is the sale. But with donations, like I said, no one's looking for to on the internet to give donations. So it's a longer game. This is why getting the goal of getting the opt-in and getting someone on your list and then nurturing them through the email follow up is key. So an example of that is what we do for our high holiday campaigns. A lot of organizations are Jewish. So, we do, for example, our one of our best producing campaigns is Rosh Hashanah. So when is Rosh Hashanah 2024? Right? Keywords that you can bid on. We actually outbid some of the largest Jewish organizations on all our campaigns every year because they don't put stock in those because they think everybody
funnel.
knows about them. So I outbid, Aish Torah, Chabad, and some of the major Jewish organizations.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So what the offer, it's the fun the you go to the ad. One is Rosh Hashanah 2024. Have a couple different variations of that ad set. Drive them to a landing page that has Rosh Hashanah 2024 is whatever X date, blah blah blah. Rosh Hashanah is the Jewish New Year, blah blah blah. To fill in that stuff, and a pop up hits you with download our significant omen card, our Sima. I'll say it to you because you're Jewish. Our Simanim guide. It's a
Hmm.
branded Simanim guide, like with branded with the organization, printable download.
This is a guide of special fruits that people customarily eat on the Jewish New Year.
There you go. There you go. So we just swap them out for all our different Jewish clients and put their branding on it. People love it because it's something tangible and you get it, and then they get on an email sequence. So these are all cool people now turning into.
That is so great. That's like what I don't know who wrote the book on this. I first heard the term I think from Jay Bear, who was on this podcast, the concept of utility. That's
Yeah.
like, you're piggybacking on a trending keyword. People trying to find out when's the Jewish New Year, what is the Jewish New Year, what's it all about. Of course, you're going to get the major organizations and the major nonprofits that are committed to, let's say in this case, Jewish education, right?
Yep.
You're gonna also get inevitably, past few years, Google's own answers. Um, the little answers that come up when you press the arrow, or the AI. But you're using an opportunity. It's a trending keyword for your ad to come up and to also please the algorithm, Google, of providing relevant
Correct.
information so that they don't want to give uh, impressions to ads that are irrelevant to the search query. So
There you go.
you answer the query, but you also give them an offer that is related to the query or that would interest someone searching this content. And that's like a soft way and a way to provide value, which is important for all businesses, but especially for nonprofits because like you said, you've really got to build that relationship before people say, I'm going to donate any money to you, and they're
Yeah,
looking to do it.
and we replicate these for all the major holiday campaigns. We're starting the Hanukkah ones right now. We're giving out coloring sheets with you know, we're giving out valuable things that people see as something that's tangible and valuable. So therefore they feel, okay, these guys care about me. So it doesn't hurt to make an ask later in the email sequence. So my entire method is funnel, offer, follow-up, and frequency. If you have a good funnel, a good offer, a strong follow-up, and you know your audience, and you win at marketing. If you don't have, if none of these variables are in place, then you lose at marketing. And people screw this up all the time because they don't it's all about the consistency. You have everything from the ad copy all the way to the thank you page all has to be consistent with what people are starting their journey on. And if you don't do that, then you're screwed.
Yeah, yeah, and that first part you said, I think, I think that's going to be the clip when we clip this up. Like that's a great thing that people should share. Um, I was going to say a couple things. So the Google Grant, well, our main focus, especially these days, is hospitality. We don't do a we work with some nonprofits and we've worked with some. It's not our main focus, but yes, the Google Grant. If you're a nonprofit out there, like that is such an important thing to take advantage of. And what we've seen is organizations are using it, but they don't have it set up properly so that disproportionate amount of the grant is going to like one ad or two ads that don't
Oh,
really connect to their business goal or I mean their nonprofit goal. There are examples like it's going to this little tool and people want to use the tool um, or get
I,
the
I've seen this
offer.
all I've seen this
Yeah,
all the time.
right, but but they have so many other things, and then aren't so helping them restructure it so that the grant is getting distributed more equitably, so that they're getting enough daylight on all the things they want to highlight. That's part of what we do. You made a great point just now about how you have to show that you care, you have to provide value. I think that I see this a lot with a lot of businesses, for-profit businesses. They're too quick to like want to propose marriage before, of course, you know, dating, like getting they don't build the relationship. They go too much to the sale. They don't give the lead magnet. But then to I want to focus more because this is your area of nonprofits all the more so. I know there are nonprofits I'm personally connected with, or I gave a donation years ago, or I participated in an event years ago, and now they only seem to show up maybe once a year or something like that when they what? Need
They
money.
will. Yep.
Colleges and
Oh,
universities are a great example. Um, and by the way, just to bring it full circle, one of my first jobs was actually fundraising, cold calling alumni at my university, my alma mater, George Washington University in DC, and which was a great experience. I definitely learned a lot. And there was a time I thought about going into development, fundraising. I think sales, marketing, very related. Um, and in nonprofits, there seems to be even worse than for-profit businesses at times. There's this almost maybe like entitlement. We're a good cause, so you should like give to us, and like they only show up when they want the money. How can nonprofits do a better job of like giving value year round and
oh,
keeping people engaged?
oh, you just opened up my favorite point of conversation. Yeah, people suck at this. Organizations absolutely suck crap at this, and I apologize for how it came out, but they absolutely suck crap at this because they think that everybody knows about them. Businesses can take note of this too. I know a lot of business people listen to your organization because again, same ideas, different outcome. If you're not top of mind, you're useless. If you're not constantly top of mind, then you might as well stop asking and stop asking. because you need you, I was just having this conversation with somebody today about awareness. Like a lot of nonprofits like to go for brand awareness, and everybody likes brand awareness. Brand awareness is useless because everyone's shouting the same thing. Hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. So the question is, how do you raise your hand a lot higher than everybody else and actually do positive awareness? So my entire focus, my methodology is based on continuous follow-up, continuing the conversation. I call it continuing the conversation because it's a conversation, because the conversation never stopped. Just because they opted in at some point somewhere down a bajillion years ago, the conversation never stopped. You just have to re-engage with them. So it's all a matter of sending out an email saying, "Hey, Zev, what's going on? It's Sean from the really super cool nonprofit organization that helps save the donkeys. We've been really busy out there saving the donkeys in the Sahara Desert, and we just haven't had a minute to talk to you. But this is what we're up to. We saved 10 donkeys this week, 20 donkeys the week before that, and another 30 donkeys 2 months ago. We've just been so busy we haven't said hi. But hi, Zev." And then you
They
end the
need to.
email.
That's a good way of doing a little humble brag. Sorry, I'm a
Yes.
dad. I can make these jokes now.
Yeah, I got 5 kids. My wife says you're the ultimate dad joke person, so it's terrible. But my point is, it's all about tapping you on the shoulder, saying, "Hey, dude, this is what we've been up to. Don't ask for nothing. Don't ask for any money. You ask for money, then you're out. You lose. That's it." But keep up these type of emails. Keep up these type of emails. Slowly creep them in, just saying, this is what we've been up to. Check out our social media. You want to see more pictures of the donkeys? Constantly just push them through their funnel to bring about that awareness, that real strong awareness. Because if you're not top of mind, then you're bottom of the barrel. And so this is something, and like now Giving Tuesday is coming up, so everyone's talking, all the whole internet's talking about Giving Tuesday, Giving Tuesday. And like it's like, well, Giving Tuesday is useless if you haven't talked to your people. I mean, geez, talk to your people, get them engaged. It's all about engagement. It's all about connection, building the relationship, because these people aren't just ATMs. They're individual people with individual wants, needs, and things that get them to connect. And this is the beauty about nonprofits, is that there's so many different facets of your organization. You never know what's going to make someone connect with you, and you never know, the guy who gave $18 to your like a monthly campaign, but then you roll out some super duper save the donkey mega fest, and he's like, "Oh my god, I want to save all these donkeys." He drops 18. You think you poo poo the guy gives $18, but then he drops 18K, and you're like, "Oh my gosh." So it's all about continuing the conversation. Social media is also part of this to an extent, because social media has its own voice and its own power to it too, but not to the extent of, I would ask you for money on social media, because that's just cringy. I would use it as one facet of storytelling, but everything has to come together to keep you top of mind. Because again, awareness, when everyone's shouting this, look at me, I'm over here. No, you need to scream a little bit louder than that, buddy.
Exactly. And I think, yeah, to your point about social media, it's a great tie-in. And we've done some great organic campaigns with social media, where we were able to dramatically increase their following, their views per post, like their impressions, engagement, organically. One problem, if sometimes nonprofits have asked me, like, can you do an ad campaign? And they don't really have any content or assets. They just want people to hit the donate button. And I'm like, that's not, yeah, that's not gonna, that's literally antisocial behavior. It's not gonna fly on social media. So, we're not a fan of that. I think that if you are providing great native content that really creates community and gives value, and you want to promote some of that content, part of it because you need it the way the algorithm is these days, you want people to have a chance to actually see it and engage with it. But you can use organic and paid strategies to do that on social media. But as far as the actual, and you can also give free things like you do on your Google ads, like some kind of free downloadable helpful thing. But I think as far as the ask, I tell people they should save that for remarketing, and it should really be multi-channel, and it shouldn't be, like
Well,
maybe you put that in front of your most engaged followers or people on your email list. But if you go into
well,
social media thinking I'm just gonna raise money and just do donation ads, That's a
Yeah.
recipe for failure.
Well, I mean, to that point, is that if you're a nonprofit that doesn't have any type of content going on, then you're doing something really wrong because nonprofits are literally walking, living, breathing like content generating machines. Because
Yes.
I always say, strap a GoPro camera to a nonprofit executive director and watch how much crap goes down because there's literally living, breathing, moving. I know organizations I worked with where they're constantly moving, they're constantly doing. There's so many things they're doing, so if you're not doing something and you don't have content, then you're doing something completely wrong.
Oh, totally. Because there's an education piece. Let's say it's awareness about a disease or a type of type of community or something. There's so much education. You can make graphics and memes that with like facts or things, quotes. There are videos and photos of what you're doing out in the field. I know in one nonprofit that goes around giving free skin cancer screenings on a bus. There's people who are out there for the donkey run. You could show the guys out there with the donkey. People who work with children or delivering food, whatever the case may be. There's so much
Right.
content out there, content opportunities in nonprofits, more than just your generic, B2B SaaS company, let's say, or tire company or something, right? So, that's a great point. And I'd love to know more about your model with recurring revenue because I mean subscription model, whether you're in e-commerce or you're in hospitality or whatever you're doing, you need to have a way of it can't all be client acquisition. If it's always
No.
client acquisition, you're gonna it's unsustainable. You're gonna lose money.
So
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 how do
so
people become recurring givers?
just like you said with the regular the for profits, the business sector, for profit sector. By the way, nonprofits and businesses are the same. They're just you just get one, you don't have to pay, you get tax deductions. It's just a business. It's the same thing. So it's the same type of thinking. And you're exactly what you said is that if you're only you have to have some sort of subscription model to work as the base cash flow. Otherwise, if you're relying on client acquisition, or in the nonprofit space, the big rich guy with the massive checkbook.
The one-time donations, yeah.
Exactly. It's not going to happen because everyone's competing for the same guy's money. I mean, you and I get it because based on the world that we live in, everybody's competing. You're smiling, but everyone's competing for the same several people's checkbooks. But you come to them on certain days and they all give you the same amount. And you're just like, oh, so what do? You have to cultivate. You have to work your audience. You have to be top of mind and push for recurring donations because and it's really simple. You just say you want to partner with us on a monthly basis and be able to see just see the benefits of what we're doing. For only $18 a month, you can have a partnership with us and do more, because people like that idea of having a partnership. People like that idea of feeling that connection because they feel like, okay, for $18 a month, I'm going to feed 10 donkeys. I keep going back to the donkey analogy. I
That's a
don't
great
know
analogy. I love
why. I don't know
it.
why. But it's like for $18 a month, you can, it's like back in I don't know how old you are, but you remember back in like the early 90s, there are those commercials for the price of for 3 cents or the price of a cup of coffee a month, you can support like a starving child in
The kids
Africa.
buy some shoes. Yeah, yeah.
And then Dave Chappelle made an entire skit about that, ripping
Yes.
on it, just but it's the same type of idea. It's like for $18, because people see those videos, people see these campaigns, and people are on your email list, and they're saying for $18 a month, you can partner with us and have a real opportunity to make a difference. It goes back to I want to be on the ground saving the whales without leaving my couch. Living vicariously through the organization.
They
So
used
what
to
people
send pamphlets. I think you could follow the progress of the kid or something.
Right. So that
Yeah.
so now fast forward to 2024, 2025, where we can send email files. We can send I did a project like that once, actually, this organization called the Shiloh Children's Fund. And they had several different their whole issue, they were running Facebook ads for donations. It didn't work, but that wasn't me. That was a different thing.
Hmm.
I was contracted out. Um, so we were doing email marketing. We were doing a lot of re-engagement email marketing in Google. And that's exactly what we're doing. We create these different these ebooks that show different scenarios and what's going on, and then the follow up with it, how these kids are and how they're being treated. And people, that's what people gave money to, because they see the progress. And when people feel connected, you know, business can do this too. Like, build a community, build a brand around it, and get people to buy into your, whatever stupid thing that you're doing.
Yeah, your
And
why, whatever, your big idea that resonates with people on an emotional
yeah,
level, because that's ultimately whether
it's
it's charity or it's non or it's for profit, there
yeah.
has to be an emotional connection. And I think, you know, like what you're saying, how people feel that they are engaged, that they are part of a team. Um, Sorry, there was one thing I wanted to ask you on that.
It's all good.
It'll come back to me. Oh, I got it. So as an advertiser, as a marketing agency, like this is also very important for you because um we if we're always in hunting mode, if we're always trying to get donations or sales, that's gonna put a real damper on the amount of return. You need to generate some kind of recurring model to increase lifetime value. So once you increase that lifetime value, your investment goes a lot further. So you could say, hey, you spent your $10 that turned into $30. But it's actually a lot more than that because now those new customers are hopefully going to give every year or every quarter. Uh,
Well,
they're going to
it's
come back to your restaurant, every time they have. So now that initial investment over a lifetime pays back a lot more.
right. Well, looking from a sales perspective is that, people, you get them in, and it's easier once you get the credit card once, it's easier to get asked for more. And because the barrier of trust has already been broken. It's already been broken down. So it's easier to ask for more. So someone's on an $18 monthly recurring, you say, hey, we're doing this specific campaign. Do you want to give X amount? And if you're smart about it, like I have this issue with synagogues and schools and other things like that, because they do it real stupid. And when you because they're constantly asking for money for stuff, but they don't explain what they're asking for money for.
Right.
And so if you're showing what you're doing, and you say, okay, we're working on building a building now, we're doing a building campaign, do you want to contribute, $1,800 a month or something like that? Most people would be like, okay, most people would probably jump on it because they see the transparency, they see where the money's going, they see what's going on, so they feel comfortable doing something like that.
Quick question, actually, and also, and before we close, I want you to have a chance to talk more about GiveSuite. But
Yes.
one quick question about nonprofit marketing, and I've always been curious about. I once did a small writing project for a really large nonprofit fundraising platform in the Jewish world that you definitely know who they are. And basically, the premise of the article was that people don't want to give to desperate losers. People don't want to give to those organizations. Like a certain presidential candidate was sending text messages constantly saying, we need your donation or we're gonna,
Oh gosh, don't get me started
desperate,
on that
like,
one.
please, we're everybody, you would think, I would think before I knowing, before being in this space myself, I guess I could see how
Oh
people could think, hey, if I tell people I really need it and without your donation, we're not going to be able to
no.
do the good work, we'll fall apart. I see why people do that.
No.
But apparently, psychologically, people are more
No.
willing to give to organizations that are quote unquote saying they're winning and actually have money, which is
Well,
interesting. What do you think
well,
about that?
so like everything, you have to come from a place of strength, not from a place of emotion. I mean, emotion plays a key part in the copy, but you don't want to be whiny. No one wants a whiny little.
No one wants begging.
Yeah, because when you're begging, it just shows people can smell desperation. People, it like smells so bad that people can smell it. And I know exactly what you're talking about because we, we're not part of that side of things anymore, but my wife would get those emails and we just sit there and laugh about them. We're like, who writes this stuff?
Mhm.
Because it's like the desperation is just like, like reeks. So when you come from a place of strength and you come from a place of strength and your copy, it's like, we don't want your money, we
Mhm.
don't, but we really want your money. We don't want your money, but we really want it. But like you come off stronger and the message is showing, not telling, and the message is focused on what you're doing and how you're doing it, and why you're doing it, and how you can get involved versus where if we don't do this, then the entire thing is shutting down. Like I can't stand those type of
Yeah, they're
campaigns.
even big. They're even big, like big organizations, even like news channels that or newspapers that say stuff like that.
Yes,
And it's really like pathetic. And
because
because it's like so why would I give money to something to an entity that clearly mismanages funds? I'd
yeah,
rather,
exactly.
if an organization seems to not need my money, I think it's funny, it's ironic, but I'm more willing to give to them because I'm like, oh, they're really making an impact. If I give them
Yes,
more, they're going to do even more projects that will make.
yes, 100%, because the whole goal is like showing strength and going from a place of strength and doing and going in that direct with that type of messaging. And a lot of people failed that because when they get to the point of, oh no, we're SOL, you know it's not a good thing. You want to prevent it before it happens. This is the entire idea of cultivating your list and cultivating your donors and turning them into monthly givers, so you don't get to the point where like, oh shoot, we're out of money, what do we do? Let's do a fundraiser. No, it's the same thing with all these like these crowdfunding campaigns. Crowdfunding has become such a crappy thing nowadays. It's just like overused and overdone and cookie cuttered out. And people don't want people like, how come our campaign sucked? It's like, well, what you can't rely on people to be ambassadors, and anybody who's an influencer is not really influential. It's like, what are they bringing to the table? And the real influencers are the people on your list who are your real community, but you
Like
didn't
user
bother.
generated content in my world. Like that's,
Oh, oh, don't get me
like
started. Don't get me started about that.
an influencer who clearly is just promoting this nonprofit because she's virtue signaling or whatever isn't
Yep,
that trustworthy, and because she's making money off of it,
yep,
it's not trustworthy. But people who are like, I volunteer, this is pictures of me out there planting
yep,
the trees, this is
yep,
me out there on the boat feeding the whale, I don't know, whatever it is, and will you please, and then their
yeah,
friends are like, "Hey, this means a lot to my friend, and
yeah,
look at what they're doing." It makes it a
yeah.
personal connection. So,
So if
yeah,
it's all about, really, it's about being in touch with the community, working with people, aligning yourself with these type of people. That's what I'm saying. And then going from a place of strength. You don't want to. Everyone seems to do these campaigns like every year, to a couple times a year, and but they do them so bad. They're just so bad.
it's very
and
cringe.
and you because no one understands, like, we worked with a client actually once where we took them from not talking to their list to about 15K plus in recurring donations in we came on board with them in the midst of their fundraising campaign, and we're like, you got to do post campaign emails, you're going to see so much more money come out of it. So we set up these post campaign emails, and literally the minute the bell rings, and this is something, one of the things I love about GiveSuite, by the way, is that all your marketing is synced. So we have if we in GiveSuite we built a crowdfunding platform in there, and the minute you get your receipt, you're automatically put onto a drip, so post campaign drip, so there's no interruptions. So
Drip
this
email.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this increases your chances of getting recurring giving, because people are already hot. People are already high on the donation. They already gave to you. So you ask me to partner with you for that? Why not? And so this organization, we did it with them. Then the year after, for some strange reason, after writing all your emails and for over a year and getting them heavily convert, they decided to go with the crowdfunding platform, use their copy, use them, and it was god awful. They didn't reach their goal, and I was just like, why?
You know what
And
it is? Like it's the same with a lot of these. drop shipping and different platforms, they promise people, hey, we'll take all the work out of it for you. You just put
Yep.
it on the platform. And I think people wish it was that easy, but it's just not. You need to
No.
recurring way of, like you said, staying top of mind, and you can't just put it on some platform and hope that'll do the work. So before
Yeah.
we close out, tell us a little bit about GiveSuite. Where can people find it? What is this platform that
So,
you created?
so GiveSuite is our platform that we created. It's an all-in-one for small and medium organizations because I hate as an agency, we used to work with everybody's systems to to do the marketing for email marketing automations or lack thereof and CRM stuff because a lot of these guys were using the nonprofit plans of Mailchimp, Constant Contact, some of these other systems, and they're using their donor management systems that they themselves didn't even know how to use. So syncing everything up with Zaps or lack thereof limited actions and automations on plans, limited our work. So I was like, this is stupid. And then on top of that, using these crowdfunding platforms and donation platforms that charge a whopping, even though they say they're free or freemium, charge a whopping on percentages. So it's like, what do you gain from this? Okay, it's easy, but like you're limited. So I was like, this is stupid. Let's create a system that works with has everything built in for organizations that they need all in one place without having to leave the tab, without having to hook up complicated systems and other things like that, and easily interchangeable between workers because nonprofits have a lot of churn and turnover in staff. So welcome to GiveSuite. For $297 a month, you get a whole suite of tools built for fundraising, marketing, donor management, and prospecting, along with social media scheduling and course creation, communities, everything you need to be able to properly run your marketing all in one space while not having to pay an arm and a leg per seat like all these other systems do. My favorite line is people love Salesforce because it's free for nonprofits, but it's free like a puppy. It's 10 free licenses, but you still have to pay up the nose for development costs. And most organizations, especially in the smaller space they're coming off of spreadsheets, are not tech savvy. And a lot of these systems are extremely complicated, they're clunky and a pain in the rear to deal with.
Very
So
complex, exactly.
yes, and they're complex for normal people. Like Salesforce, I always say Salesforce and HubSpot were built so developers could have jobs.
Yeah,
And
you're at the mercy of your IT guy, and
yep,
he gets paid very handsomely from
yeah.
your donors. But like and just to clarify, so I love how you saw a need, a pain point in your with your clients. You obviously you have a service business, the marketing agency, but you've now developed a product definitely inspiring for me. Ultimately, as I work with more hospitality related businesses, caterers, hotels, event spaces and the like, I think I'm looking for pain points to create some kind of platform as well down the line, probably. One question, like, how would it be for someone who's in a nonprofit? Why do I want to use GiveSuite? Like what is unique about it for nonprofits versus like Go High Level or HubSpot or Pipedrive or one of these popular CRMs?
So I'll tell you, first of all, GiveSuite is Go High Level white labeled, except modified significantly for nonprofits. Like you would recognize it's Go High Level. And I'm very upfront about that because there's no way that we could build and there's no point in building custom software
Yeah,
nowadays
we
at
love
2025.
GHL. Yeah,
Yeah,
we use it.
I was about
Yeah.
to say, you for sure use GHL.
Yeah.
So we took GHL and modified the heck out of it. You would not even recognize it, and built so many different things and integrations in there that you would not even realize. And as you know, GHL is extremely easy. Once you understand how to use it, it's extremely easy to use. And what we've done also, what the difference between GiveSuite versus a lot of these other systems that you mentioned, they're not built for nonprofits. And even like HubSpot for nonprofits, it's not built for nonprofits. And even the nonprofit donation systems like Donor Perfect, Bloomerang, Give Butter, which everybody loves,
Mhm.
they all have functionalities, but they're all still limited. And with GiveSuite, there's no limitations, and it's very malleable. So if you want something specific done, we can do it. And we have a strong emphasis on customer support and customer service. We have an entire, like literally an entire onboarding area with every video for every possible scenario that you could possibly ever get into, along with a GiveSuite support community that you can ask questions, get answers in real time, along with an onboarding checklist that gives you all the tools you need, and a ticketing system so that we have a built-in customer support ticketing system, so that you just can either pay, you can submit a ticket, and one of our CS people will get back to you immediately. We pride ourselves in customer service because we want you to be successful. Like, we so badly want you to be successful, and we want your organization to thrive, that we're here for you. And
That's
so,
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, well, so we're gonna link GiveSuite and some other stuff that you mentioned in the show notes. Definitely, everyone should check that out. And probably when this is released, will be in time for Giving Tuesday or the holidays. These are all good times to give, right? It's better to give than receive, some people say, right?
that's
Um,
right.
so definitely check it out and check out connect with Sean Littman on LinkedIn. He's the guru of nonprofit
Don't call me a
marketing.
guru. God forbid, don't call
No,
me a guru.
okay. You're
I'm
you're
just
like Tony Robbins. I'm not your guru, right?
I'm just a dude who knows some stuff about some stuff, and I could probably help you out if you ask me. If you ask me,
He is not your guru, but he is an expert on nonprofit advertising and marketing that doesn't suck. That might be the title of
I
this
didn't say I was
episode.
an expert. I said I'm a guy who knows some stuff about some stuff, and that I can definitely help. I can probably help you out.
Very modest, very modest.
I'm not your savior, but I can be.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sean, and we'll look forward to having you back sometime soon.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to having you on my show. We're gonna have fun.
Yes, we're gonna. That'll be great. Can't wait. Take
Looking
care.
forward. Thanks so
Bye.
much. Bye.